Hello? Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Welcome to Atomic Movie Reviews Film Society. I am your host, Atomicon Rex. Here we discuss films that have a narrative background in aliens, ghosts, robots, and creatures. And today's movie is Antman 3 Quantumania. So let's just jump into it. I'm going to read off my master key here. What are some of the plot and narrative predictions? Okay, so my plot prediction was Kang is sending out an emergency beacon, and Casey, Antman's daughter, Scotland's daughter, happens to be the one that answers it. That's my plot prediction for the movie. What is the genre of the movie? I was going for cyber, but after watching them, I was going for cyber fantasy. But after watching the movie, I'm gonna have to put it in a creature feature category. Now, what is a creature feature? That is a monster. That is a movie where a monster is created through mad science. That's basically what a creature feature is. And so that's the category I put this movie in. What is the cinematography? It's live action. It's also in 3D. So that's, if you want to see it in 3D, I would. You could tell that it's kind of made for 3D. I didn't see it in 3D, but it was definitely made for 3D. What is the original work? It's based on a comic book of the same title, but this one is coming from 2 previous Ant-Man movies, and it is jumping off the back of a Loki TV series. And so that's where this movie is coming from. You actually should see Loki before you see Antman 3 because they are connected. Set design. Well, the green screen was heavy, and it was very noticeable. The graphics didn't really sharpen up and clean up until halfway through the movie. And then, I was completely immersed. I couldn't tell, I didn't see any glowing lines around people or anything like that. So I'm not sure what's going on with, MCU's graphics, but yeah, they need to work on that a little bit more. Okay, sorry, let me get myself situated here. Okay, TV tropes. What plot conventions did I notice in the film? Scotland's daughter. She did not appreciate any of his achievements. This man saved the world, brought people back to life, and all kinds of stuff. And she's just like, well, what are you doing right now, Dad? Like, shit, I just saved the world. I'm retired. I'm retired forever. That's what I would have told her. But hey, that's me. Let's move on to the characters. So the characters. Antman Scott Lang. He's the fun comedic dad. He doesn't take anything too seriously. He's the same person in basically all 3 movies. There's not really a character arc in him. He's kind of always the same. The villain, Kang the Conqueror. Now, this Kang is different from the Loki series. They use different technology and they have different personalities. So Kang the Conqueror, he's the villain of the movie. He has some sort of high technology that basically rivals magical power. Like, you don't really see his technology interacting with the environment. Like, he just waves his fingers and then, a portal opens up, or you're pinned against the wall through telekinesis. It was very Dr. Doomish. I was getting some Dr. Doomish vibes from that. I mean, as far as his suit is concerned. His body of armor. What else do I have here? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Jonathan Majors was a pretty good Kang. I think he kind of nailed it. There are certain places where I felt that he was overacting. He was kind of squishing his face a little bit, and it's just like, you're not really that emotional right here at this very moment, but he was trying to give gravitas to the character, and I do appreciate that. The damsel in distress. That's obviously Casey, Scott's daughter. I think she's the first one that gets sucked into the quantum realm. and then she's also captured by King the Conqueror. So the movie revolves around her basically everyone trying to save Cassie from King the Conqueror. She was okay. Like, I mean, I was convinced, like, the acting was great. It was just, I don't know what Disney is doing with these childhood prodigies that could create Iron Man suits in their basement and open quantum portals in their dad's basement. But hey, that's the way Disney wants to go. They could go that way. It's just no one's really buying that. At least I'm not buying that. She somehow gets a suit that's not really touched upon. Okay, you don't see her stealing a suit or just boom, all of a sudden she has an Antman suit in the middle of the quantum realm and they're fighting and battling. Didn't get it. But I might have missed some things. So, there could have been plots that I missed, leading up to that. But I didn't notice it. And I felt that was a plot hole. Okay, let's see. The sidekick, the Wasp. I like the Wasp in the last Ant movie. So they call this one Antman the Wasp Quantumania. But she probably has 10 minutes of film on it. And she didn't really do anything but save him at the end. All CGI work. It's just, I feel when you shoot everything on the green screen, it's just lazy. Like, I get it, it's cost effective and everything, but you could build a couple sets. You're Marvel Studios. I mean, come on, people. Let's see. Let's move on to the weapons. Mostly shrink tech. They either throw something at you and they shrink you, or they throw something at you and they make you big. Part of the magic of comic book movies is the meat and potatoes, in my opinion, is how they use the tech, or how they use the superpower in unique and arcane ways in fighting battles or saving something. Like, if I'm watching a Superman movie and he's trying to save a plane that got hit with a missile that's falling out the sky, I don't want him just to fly underneath the plane and save the plane. Like, he needs to create like a wind vortex to steady the plane, like to level the plane out. Then he needs to fly over to the wing that's on fire and hit it with his ice breath. And then he needs to fly underneath the plane and catch it before it hits the ground. Okay, don't be lazy with the unique ways that you can display people using their superpowers. That's the whole point. Unique and novel ways on how they use their superpowers. I really like that. Okay. So you have mostly shrink tank with the Antman family. And then with Kang, he has like force fields and any energy beams and what I can tell from telekinesis. I could tell you right now that the King in the Loki series is more formidable than this King. I don't see how he's the conqueror. So the King in the Loki series, they couldn't even touch him, let alone an army of ants, walking in and like taking this guy out. Like, it just didn't make any sense. But he's imprisoned in a quantum realm, so he doesn't have access to the high technology that the other King does. Let's see, mode of transportation. Okay, well, the original Antman, Michael Douglas's character, he basically provides he's flying around in some quantum spaceship throughout the whole movie, and he's taking them from point A to point B, and that's kind of his task throughout the movie. That's kind of his role. He's the taxi driver in the movie. The locality is in the quantum realm. Nothing really special about it. Like, I got the feeling that they went really, 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 really deep into the quantum realm, so they're kind of like outside of time. They're so small and so tiny. That's really all I got from that. Okay. How was the acting? The acting was solid. Everybody was just fine. There's a lot of green screen, so you could tell that actors are kind of just talking to nothing. Okay, and especially in the first half of the movie, you can tell. But they polish it up halfway through. So at least they did that. The only thing about the acting, I brought it up before, I thought King was overreacting a little bit. He was squishing his face a little bit, and I was like, I'm not really buying that you're really upset right now at this moment, being that you're a god down there. Okay, number 9. What is the cultural impact of the movie? Did it break any new ground? I'm gonna have to say no. I didn't notice any new ways that they used the tech. And then when Kane showed up, I saw a little bit of Iron Man in his tech. Like a little bit of Iron Man, and that was really it. Like he could open a portal or something like that, but I wasn't afraid of Kane. Not like the Loki series where he could just stop time and like do whatever he want, but he was like jolly and silly. But he was more of a threat than this King, I felt. Was. The rating system. Number 10. I'm going to have to go with this one. You can wait for streaming. I went to go see it at the theaters. I don't think you need to pay top ticket price for it. I do think it's a worthy watch. I do not buy the idea that it is one of the worst MCU movies. There is no way. I could think of 5 just off the top of my head that are worse than this. And then on that, if I really dug, I could put by 10 before this one. I enjoyed the movie. I liked it. Like, it wasn't mind shot. It's not an Avengers movie. It's an Antman movie. And you need to judge it on the basis of it being an Antman movie. Kang can't go around killing everybody and destroying the entire world in an Antman movie. Like, that's just not going to fly. You could do that in an Avengers movie or a Captain American movie, but not an Antman movie. Okay? It's that Antman is geared toward younger adults. Okay, so yeah, that pretty sums it up. So I'm just going to talk about the summary and recommendations. We watched Antman Quantumania. It's a creature feature. What is a creature feature? It is where is it? Hold on. It is a monster created through man's science. And how I judged this movie is when the ants came and killed Kang, right? They were like trapped in some quantum realm and they evolved, and now there's technocratic species that uses laser beams and hooks and like all kinds of different techs, but they're just ants. Okay, and so they're ants that use science. Okay, and so that's where the creature feature category comes from. I do recommend it. I do recommend it on streaming. I don't think you need to buy this movie. I don't think you need to see it in the theaters. But if you like the Loki series, this is a how do you say an entry into that before you see Loki series 2, season 2. So I think you do need to see, if you like Loki, if you like the series Loki, you should watch this on that principle alone, because you need a good idea who Kang is and the different types of Kangs there are. Yeah, so apart from that, I think it was a good movie. I think it's worth watching. Wait till Disney Plus. And that pretty much sums it all. So, Atomic Rex out. You guys have a good day. Bye-bye.